Hi guys, this is Lewis here, and I thought I'd just do a kind of an update video, moving on from one of my previous videos about going into 4 Lows on a retest back in, well, I did the video a couple of weeks back, maybe 3 weeks, but I actually moved into 4 Lows in the start of December, and it's now March, so I just wanted to kind of do a bit of a review on what's been going off. So if any of you know already, I went into 4 Lows on a retest a few months back, and it was quite a confusing time for me. Although a lot of people do move into 4 Lows on retests, it's common on a nutritional balancing program. It's more of a celebration pattern, so it means that it's something to be proud about, something to celebrate about. And what generally happens is it's more of an intervention on a soul level in order to make you kind of learn a few lessons about things. It is done to maybe experience certain past issues that you need to deal with. A lot of the time it's to do with parental problems or relationship problems that you need to deal with. But although it's a celebration pattern, we do feel a lot of the same symptoms than the people who have 4 Lows on an initial hair analysis test. So there was some fatigue, some low moods, some mood swings actually, some anxiety and depression and trouble sleeping. And a lot of confusion. I remember a lot of confusion. So it's been an interesting few months, and I didn't really expect moving into 4 Lows. I've been in 4 Lows before, and before I went in I was feeling really good and uplifted and upbeat, and then all of a sudden something changed like that, which kind of goes to show how amazing and powerful the program is, whereby you actually get some sort of an intervention on you as a soul level, because you're now ready and prepared to move into a new stage of healing, a more mature stage of understanding who you are as a person, and I think it's something really, really special. Although I have to admit, when you're in the pattern in the beginning, it can get a little bit frustrating and a little bit confusing, but after a while you kind of accept it, and you kind of try and feel as much as you can through it and rest as much as possible, because that's the quickest and easiest way to get out of a 4 Lows pattern, is basically to rest as much as possible. So over these past few months, quite a few things happened to me. I feel like I'm moving through a stage of my life that I mentioned in the previous video called the Saturn return, and the Saturn return happens to people who are on a path of development around the ages of 26 to 31. The kind of peak time is 28. Maybe I've started a little bit earlier, 26, but I feel like that's because I am on the journey of development, on the path of development, and it's the stage between late adolescence and adulthood. I know that sounds quite strange, saying that you're not really an adult when you get to late 20s, but it's true, and I do feel it, and I do see it in a lot of people, and it is basically a process of maturing and learning a lot about different things. Now, one of the things people say that we learn about in Saturn return is love, and what love really means. And I've really kind of experienced that recently. I've really kind of been forced to change my views a little bit about what love is. Although I had an intellectual view about what love is, I suppose I'm really starting to feel it, and I'm really starting to feel how it is more of a respectful thing. There's a deeper meaning to love, and I have much less thoughts, much less sexual thoughts that I suppose my younger self used to relate that to love. when in reality it's not really love at all, although it can be an expression of love. So that's one thing that I've kind of started to learn in this process. I have to say that I do feel like I'm coming out of 4 Lows now. I actually had a second test, and my 4 Lows came down, which meant it got deeper. I went deeper into 4 Lows, and that just meant I was really digging down into some core issues that I have and had, and I think one of them core issues was learning not to worry about what other people think. That was something that I really discovered was a core problem within myself when I was in this 4 Lows pattern. And one thing that's been happening to me recently is I've been really kind of, I suppose, turning my back on a lot of the ways of society and how they approach life, and how they kind of guilt trip people into thinking that that's the way to live. So I've really kind of empowered myself a lot. I've been getting a lot out in nature. I've been trying to experience trees more. I've been trying to experience nature more. I've been becoming more humble, not being as kind of egotistical in my ways of being. I think coming out into nature more often makes you realise how much of a child you are, really. The complexity, the beauty, the kind of symbiosis that's happening in nature that we know nothing about anymore, although it used to be our home, and we used to have a strong connection to it. So I've really started to question my role in society. That this is another key aspect of the transition between late adolescence and adulthood, and the book that I speak about, called, I think it's called Nature and the Human Soul, by Bill Plotkin. He discusses that this is a highly intense, confused part of the rites of passages, or the stages of human development. And I have to admit, I've been extremely confused over the past few months, something that I'd never really used to be, especially as my health started improving on the programme. But it's really forced me to discover who I want to be and what I want to give to the world. And the things that have been coming up is I'm not really interested in trying to fit in as much as what I used to. I'm really content with kind of experiencing nature a lot more than what I used to. As many of the sympathetic dominant types know, we have an issue with trying to please others. And I've been in sympathetic dominance for quite a few years, and actually my last test, even though I was in 4 Lows, I was not in sympathetic dominance. So that basically means that my worries and fears and trying to please other people and overusing my fight or flight, I've come out of that in this previous test, which I feel like represents my mindset change a lot. So that's been really good and fascinating for me. So I suppose I'll leave it there. Some beautiful butterflies just flown past me. So I basically wanted to do an update about this rite of passage that I'm experiencing at the moment, and just try and explain to people that, you know, being in 4 Lows on a retest, a lot of people see it as a negative thing, and it's not. It's actually a beautiful thing. Listen to what it's saying to you, feel your way into it, rest a lot, try not to overthink it too much, and I can guarantee that when you come out of it, you'll be transformed into a new person. The last time I went into 4 Lows was around 3 years ago, when I experienced a serious amount of copper release, and it was not a very nice experience, mainly because I was inexperienced with the program. I really didn't understand what was happening. I was releasing a hell of a lot of toxic metal, so I was feeling absolutely terrible. But